Hi, this is Vidya from the Kowai Post. Today we're going to speak about something very important and interesting, which is the growing number of cesarean sections. Cesarean sections are drastically on the rise, and the patients and those from the patient's side feel that the doctors are fleecing the women in question by insisting that they undergo a cesarean procedure rather than a vaginal delivery because cesareans cost more. Now we're going to talk to Dr. Damodar Rao, who is an infertility consultant and also the associate director of Rao Hospital, and ask him as to whether it is really so, or do doctors face any other difficulty. And interestingly, Dr. Damodar is one of the few male gynecologists in Coimbatore. So doctor, now talking about C-sections, there's been a recent change.org petition which has seen an overwhelming response from the public against cesarean. So what does it actually mean? Does it mean that people feel that the hospitals are fleecing?
Yes, I have heard about this petition and come across it. I don't blame the people for what they think. Definitely, the way it's been portrayed, patients will feel that the doctors are fleecing the patients, but I think more information needs to be handed out to the patients, more counseling needs to be done to the patients and to the mothers undergoing cesarean as to why the cesarean is being done. And I think once that's all out there and they're very well counseled and they understand why they're having a cesarean, I think this misconception will go away.
Following this, Dr. Menaka Gandhi, who's the Minister for Women and Child Development, she said that the hospitals should be more transparent. They should come out with details on how many cesareans are being done, how many vaginal delivery is being done. Do you think that's a must? She's justified in what she's asking.
Well, I don't really think it's justified.
Okay.
Because you can't put a blanket rule saying you should come out with, just come out with a number of cesarean sections you're done. It's not as simple as that. The math is not as simple as just come out with the numbers.
Why do you think it's difficult, doctor?
Because, again, it comes to a lot of things, right, from why are cesareans on the increase. There's a lot of factors as to why it's on the increase, and what the petition and what Menaka Gandhi is saying is right. It's actually come from a WHO norm saying that cesarean section should be only at the rate of 10 to 15%, and this, I believe, was going through certain articles and said this was come out in 1980s, late 1980s.
Okay.
A lot has changed since the 1980s, the late 1980s.
Right.
The social environment has changed. People are getting married late. People are, even if they get married early, having babies late. Or people are finding it tough to even conceive.
True.
Infertility is on the rise.
True.
So when you see all this, basically the people who are conceiving now are mothers who, what we call elderly primees, in the late 35 or more than 30 plus, right? So these mothers definitely are not the normal set of mothers you saw back in the day.
Okay.
They have more amount of diabetes in pregnancy, more of hypertension in pregnancy. I was going through another article which said just because they are elderly mothers, their bodies are not as physically fit as the younger mothers are.
True.
So back in the day, people were a lot more physical, women and men, and a lot more physical work being done by women. Mostly they were at home, so cooking, cleaning the vessels, bringing the water from the well to your house. A lot of physical activity was involved, but nowadays times have changed. Women are in front of the computers at a desk the whole day. There's no physical activity at all, and probably obesity is also on the rise. All this also contributes to the woman not being able to deliver vaginally. And nowadays the moment a person conceives, it's not the doctor but the parents and the in-laws say take rest. They don't, and they keep asking us, does she have to work at all? Can she take rest?
True.
That's being pregnant is a very physiological state. It's you don't have a disease. Right? It's a very, very normal state, and so when the physical activity reduces, you can't expect the woman to suddenly on that day come and deliver vaginally. It's like, you have to prepare for it.
True.
Right? So that's also one of the reasons why cesareans are on the rise. Another thing that I would want to talk about is technology.
Okay.
Technology is also improved. Ultrasound is improved. There are other machines which monitor the baby's heart while the woman is in labor. Right? So these machines are able to pick up at an early enough in labor as to when the baby is in distress. Back in the day, we didn't have such machines.
Right.
And nowadays you don't hear of mothers dying on the table. It's very rare.
Okay.
Before you would hear about, oh, she delivered but the mother didn't survive. Right? About 20 years back, 30 years back, you would hear about all this. But now because of technology, we're able to find out when the baby is in distress, and hence we want to take the baby out earlier.
Okay. Okay.
Right? And that's also another contributing factor for cesarean. So you have to take into account a lot of things and then decide what should be the average number of cesareans a particular hospital should do or a country should do.
So doc, are you trying to say that it's all medical related? I mean, medically intended
I would say
cesareans?
90% of it is medical related.
So there's no...
I'm not saying that there are doctors who aren't doing this, who are not fleecing patients. I will not say that. There are always rotten apples in a basket, but that's, I would say, 10%. Most of us want to do the best for the patient.
Okay.
Most of us want to give a vaginal delivery for the patient. But because of various factors, cesarean sections are on the rise.
Yeah, right. Doc, and what's it about, people coming asking for the delivery on a specific date, on a specific, time, such that the kundli is good, the horoscope is good.
Yeah,
I mean, does it make any sense?
I think going to have all Rajnikant's born in the future. But we don't yield to that at all.
Okay.
But what happens is if not here, then they'll go somewhere else. So there are these bunch of doctors who might be yielding to these kind of pressures, but most of us don't, promote it, because then their demands will just keep increasing. Not only deliveries, people are even asking for a time for circumcision, forget delivery.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay.
So
okay. Now, how
it's getting
does that
bad.
help? A time for that?
I don't know.
Okay.
So,
and Doctor, medical council as a body, how do you think it can contain the growing number? I mean, we can't dispute the fact that cesareans are growing. How do you think that body can contain this?
Well, the Medical Council and the OBGYN Society of India, they are looking into why this is happening, and definitely protocols have already been laid out, but
Okay.
As to when you should do a cesarean, when you should not do a cesarean.
Do you think they need to be more stringent with hospitals? I mean, that is why, do you think that's why Menaka Gandhi asked for data, clear, give us math, be more transparent? Do you think
No, I think
that's the way out?
once the average number of cesareans that can be done by an institute, once that's laid out clearly and realistically, after that, even if hospitals are not I don't think you should come out with show me your data, but maybe that can happen once the real data is out, not the data that was done back in the day.
No, currently only. Whatever you're doing currently.
So I think they can come out with that data or that average now and look and let people practice that for another 2 years. And even after that, if you still feel that people are not, adhering to that, then maybe you can start slapping a blanket rule saying, come out with your data.
Yeah, don't you think that's a problem as far as India is concerned? We don't have database for anything.
That's true. That's
and
sad.
So
but
is it not high time that we start developing?
We should. We are. In fact, everything right from even our OBGYN society, we have journals, right?
And that's how you can kind of go further in terms of surveys or in terms of study, in terms of research. You need data for everything.
Exactly what I was coming to. Now we have the journal for our OBGYN society. They've made it very strict now as to whether what kind of research you're doing, have you followed the methodology, is it all in place, and only then will they accept your journal. But before you could just send your journal and it would be accepted, but now they've really become strict. They're coming out with quality papers so that we can even be indexed in the international journals.
Okay.
So we're working on it. We will get there.
Okay. Doctor, though you seem to be justified from your side, from the hospital side, on the growing number of cesareans, now there's always a gap and visible dispute between the patients and the hospitals, and because of this, there seems to be a growing violence amongst the doctors as well. So, has government done enough?
Growing violence against doctors?
Against doctors.
Yes, there is an increased amount of violence against doctors, and even in our field, if something happens to the mother or to the baby, again, people are sorting to damaging hospitals, damaging the property, or doctors themselves are being attacked. I've heard of a doctor being shot, another doctor being stabbed. So from our side, to reduce this, maybe doctors should counsel the patients better, educate them better, and tell them exactly why. Sit them down, take time to talk to the parents or to the mother, to the delivering mother's party, as to why a cesarean would be necessary. Counseling is very, very, very important in our field. On the other side, I think the government also should take some steps as to put some kind of penalty on such people, so that it would discourage people from resorting to such kind of activities.
Now, doctor, the cesarean, C-sections, is it increasing only in the private sector, or is it the same with government hospitals too?
Yes, interestingly, even in the government hospitals, the cesarean sections are on the rise. Number one, for the same reason that I said, again, people are getting married late, conceiving late, more problems like diabetes in pregnancy, hypertension in pregnancy, difficulty in actually pushing the baby out because the body is not physically fit. So all these are physiological factors, and because of advanced maternal age. On the other side, there are also problems like there is a huge rush in the government hospitals, and probably the number of beds that are available are not enough.
Yes.
There are women in pain outside waiting to deliver.
Yes.
You also have heard of women probably delivering in the auto and things like that.
Yes.
Definitely things have improved. It's improved a lot, but still it's not enough. The number of beds should be increased. They should provide more number of doctors, improve the the rural health service.
So you were talking about the government hospitals. We see a lot of women sleeping on the floor in government hospitals. Infrastructure wise also they need to kind of improve. Also, tell me, most of these women who come to the government hospitals are from a rural background, and there's a broad feeling that women from rural background are physically fit. And see the problems which the urban women face, I'm sure the rural women will also face. So does it mean that the increase in number of C-sections is almost equal both in the government and the private sector? Because there's a feeling that it is more only in the private.
Definitely what you said. Number one, women in the rural side, in the villages, definitely there's a lot more physical activity by them. Even nowadays, it's not like they're sitting in front of a desk, in front of a computer.
They do a lot of
There is a lot more chance of them delivering vaginally than having a cesarean.
Right.
Okay, but the problem that happens in the government hospitals is that the number of beds and the number of doctors have to be increased to accommodate this large number of women whom they are looking after. And maybe not only in the main government hospitals, even the peripheral centers, if they provide good doctors, good facilities, women can deliver there itself.
So are you saying that because there aren't enough facilities there, they're moving on to private hospitals for C-sections?
Some people definitely do. But now there's a lot of improvement being done on the government side. In the last 1 or 2 years, a lot of money has been pumped in it. In the Coimbatore CMC, Coimbatore Medical Hospital, the infrastructure is really improved, and I've heard that it's really the facilities have improved, and it's very nice now compared to what it was before.
Okay, so would we see in the near future decline in the cesarean sections?
Yes, I'm sure there will be a change, and I'm hoping that in the future cesarean sections will be done only when it is indicated, and vaginal deliveries will be the way forward for most of the cases.
And finally, doctor, one interesting question, and I expect an equally interesting answer from you. Gynecology, how has it been? Because it's It's mostly a woman's field. So how has it been being a male gynecologist?
It's not really true that it's only a woman's field.
Okay.
If you saw about 40-50 years back, there were only male gynecologists in India.
Okay.
There were, or couple
In
years, or
comparison to women?
even before that, there were only male doctors at all.
Okay. Okay.
And then slowly, yes, women started coming in, and so there have been a lot of male gynecologists.
But we see very few male gynecologists.
Yes, nowadays,
now.
yes.
Is it
there
because
are.
of the inhibition, doc? Do people kind of feel inhibited to come
I
to?
haven't really felt that
experience that?
personally.
Okay,
I think when it comes to medicine and your own body, I think they're more worried about how good the doctor is versus whether he's a male or a female.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't see myself facing any such problems at all.
Okay. Thank you very much, doctor.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you. And I thank Kowai Post for having us on the show, and looking forward to doing more interviews with you.
Thank you.
Thanks.